This video is very kindly sponsored by MPB.
I'm going to imagine that you can't really see that from over there because you're currently at 24 mil, but that is the biggest wave I've ever seen. I'm on the Portuguese coast. Welcome to Nazaré, and this is a town that I've wanted to come to for years, precisely because of that. We're here for a couple of days. I say we're, it's myself, Erin and Roman, and it looks like there's a swell building up to this afternoon when there might be some light as well, which is all very exciting. And in my 2 days here, what I'm hoping to do is concentrate on quality. I think a weakness of mine when it comes to photography is that I basically spray and pray a lot of the time. I take 300-400 versions of one shot and then I give myself hours of work to do to try and pick which is the best one. And I wonder sometimes if I'd be better off acting more like a film photographer who absolutely wouldn't take 300 versions of the same shot. You'd be constantly changing rolls of film and I'd just pick my moment. I wonder if I'd have a better relationship with the photo that I take rather than actually not really remembering what photo I took. And yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm very excited to be here and to try and photograph that. Look at that. So yes, I picked a horrible time to try and do this because I'm going to want to take thousands of photos of that, but perhaps that's the point. Some of my favorite TV shows ever are 12 episodes in totality. Fawlty Towers, The Office, the proper one, the British one. I'm a fan of the American one, but the British one's best. Yeah, they're 12 episodes, and sometimes I wonder how much there is in that, you know? Quality over quantity. And I'm a huge fan of talking about quality over quantity, but I don't know, I don't really focus on that when it comes to my shooting style. So that's the aim of the game, really, I think. That must be fun. If I was going to give myself a score for shooting intentionally or pressing the shutter intentionally, which was my aim for this video, at the moment I'm probably stuck on a 1 or a 2. I took 1,400 photos in this area and none of them, from what I've seen so far, particularly special. Now in my defense, the conditions were challenging.
Nice day for a swim. Oh, dear, oh dear.
The viewpoint from which you get these shot, I didn't really find massively photogenic. So I was pottering around doing other stuff, and we did get a sunset, but nothing that justifies 1,400 photos. So today, here in another town, south of Nazaré, back towards Lisbon, called Ericeira. Pretty sure that's not the correct pronunciation.
Ericeira, I think, is more like how you say it, which sounds more Italian to me. I don't know.
I'm hoping to get more keepers with less exposures. That's the word I'm looking for. We'll see how we go. The day's looking up because I'm wearing shorts. Always a good start to a day. Let's go and try and take some photos, but less photos. Less photos. I can't remember how well or badly I explained myself the other day, but basically my goal here is not to take the fewest number of photos possible. I don't think it's a particularly bad thing to take different versions of the same scene. But I do think sometimes I take way too many photos, which inhibits my experience in the field because I'm busy taking photos, not enjoying the experience, not experimenting with other versions of that scene. And then when I get home, I give myself hours of tidying up to do and selects and all that stuff. And I wonder often if I'd be better off trying my best to take a fewer photos in the hope that I streamline both of those parts of the process. I don't know though. That's why I'm trying it. I've shot 150 frames so far this morning, which I think is probably more than your average film photographer would shoot, unless they're incredibly rich and have a porter for their film basically. But I do think I'm being a bit more intentional about how I shoot when I press the shutter, and therefore I think that is freeing up some headspace to wonder about different compositions and different ways to frame scenes. Early days, but I think this exercise is having an effect, even if, like I say, I have taken 150 photos in an hour and a half. I really like this scene, and I couldn't really put into words why I like it, but I suppose that's the beauty of photography, isn't it? You don't have to put it into words because you've got a photo. Anyway, a few hours later, I am finding that I'm taking a few less photos, maybe, except for the odd burst where I'm trying to freeze the shadow of a bird on a wall or something. Anyway, as a result of taking a few less photos, I think a couple of things. A, I'm concentrating more on framing, which I think is a good thing. And B, I'm sticking around at scenes for less time because I'm taking less photos, which I spoke about a few weeks ago actually when I talked about the cost of perfectionism in a video. Can't remember which video, but yeah, I think that's a good thing. I mean, you're talking about probabilities, aren't you, ultimately? If you stay at a scene indefinitely, you will get a good photo, but at what cost? Because you're definitely missing photos elsewhere. I do like shooting diggers.
The more I think about it, the more I think there's something in this less is more way of thinking. And not just in photography. I cleared out some of my drawers here in my office the other day, and I found nuts and bolts and all kinds of stuff really from who knows what and who knows when, including this. I don't know if that's focusing or not, but it's a 256 megabyte SD card. I'd certainly take a lot less photos shooting with this. And I mean, that scene there that I started this video with, I took 44 photos of that guy sat there on that bench, and I ended up with a photo that I really, really like. His hand is in exactly the right position. And to be honest, I think that's probably the best thing about shooting anywhere in Southern Europe, really, is that people talk with their hands. They're very expressive, and that is really good to photograph. But the question I have for myself is, could I have got that in, I don't know, 3 or 4 photos rather than 44? And had I done so, would I have then had time to enjoy the moment as well? Which I didn't really, because I spent the entire time behind the viewfinder. Anyway, yeah, so that's what's on my mind at the moment. Less is more. And to that end, actually, I've had another clear out of my camera gear. So I'm selling a load more stuff to MPB, and they're picking it up in about an hour. Now, you might remember some months ago, I mentioned that I'd sold all my telephoto lenses, for example, and a couple of cameras as well. I'm stripping down my kit even further now because it's just sat on my shelves collecting dust. Although I must admit, I have bought another camera, which I'll talk about in a future video. But overall, I've still massively slimmed down my kit. And whether you're looking to buy or sell camera gear, MPB, as far as I'm concerned, is the place to do it. When you're selling, it's a super simple process. You can get an instant quote online, and if you're happy with that quote, you just box your stuff up, they arrange for a courier to come to your house to collect it, and then they pay you very quickly once they've checked over your gear. And if you're buying, then you can save hundreds, if not thousands, when you do. Everything comes with a 6-month warranty, and everything's been meticulously checked before it goes on the site. It's fantastic. So whether you're looking to downsize, upsize, or just swap some kit, definitely check out MPB. I think it's a brilliant service. So thank you to MPB for their continued support of this channel, and thank you to you for watching. And yeah, next time, or maybe the time after that, I'll talk a little bit about this new camera. Still got a lot less kit, I promise.